we have to understand what happens when the Sahasrara opens. When the Kundalini passes through the 5 centers, it enters into the area which we call as limbic area. This area is all surrounded by 1,000 nerves. And when these nerves get enlightened, they look like flames of Vibgyor colors, 7 colors, and very mildly, beautifully shining, emitting peace. But when the Kundalini starts emitting its vibration on the sides, all these nerves get enlightened gradually and start moving on all directions, opening the Sahasrara. And then the Kundalini, what's this noise about? Emerges out through the fontanelle bone area, which we call as Brahma Randra. Randra means the whole, and the Brahma is the all-pervading power of God's love. So it enters into the subtle energy, which is all-pervading, which we do not feel normally. But then the Chaitanya, the vibrations, which are the part and parcel of this energy, all-pervading power, the Parama Chaitanya, they start entering into our brain and showering their blessings in the limbic area they assemble. Now the limbic area is connected to all the area of the brain and also to the nerves. So it starts flowing onto the nerves, giving you the new awareness of collective consciousness called as Samuhik Chetana. So you get a new Chetana, a new awareness, which is showered upon your limbic area. The working of these Chaitanya waves is very interesting. They are normally formed like small commas, but then they go into different forms. They make themselves into swastikas as the 4-limbed symbol of innocence, or they become the Omkara, as you know how Om is written, which is the symbol of our doing, our awareness. So when they form the swastika, they try to nourish the left side, and when they form the Omkara, they nourish the right side. Left and right sympathetic nervous system, they nourish. But Sahasrara is to be kept open is rather difficult for people, because it's a vicious circle. First, these vibrations should enter into your brain through the Brahmarandra when it is opened out, and they should nourish your nerves, by which your left and right side open out, and so more Chaitanya can flow down all these centers. But if your Sahasrara is not properly opened, this process doesn't take place. As a result of that, the chakras don't open, the Kundalini only as very few strands is kept in the spinal cord, and the new strands cannot rise because your chakras are not open. So in Sahaja Yoga, it is very important to keep your Sahasrara open. Otherwise, there's a vicious circle. To keep the Sahasrara open is in a way very easy as well as difficult. As you have known in the Devi Mahatmya, that at Sahasrara, Mahamaya comes. She is a Mahamaya. Not easy to recognize her, not easy to know her. She lives just like you, she moves just like you, and you can never make out her real nature. This is one way. Another way is that you start seeing the blessings and you start seeing how you become so progressively better materially, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Still on a mental level, most of the people recognize. But unless and until it is recognized in the heart, is no recognition. Already the heart is surrounded by 7 auras of the 7 chakras. And the spirit, the Atma, resides in the heart. As it is on top of your head here, resides the God Almighty Sadashiva. So when Kundalini touches that point, your spirit gets awakened and the light of the spirit starts spreading. And it starts acting on your central nervous system, because automatically the vibrations, the Chaitanya flow into your brain, who enlighten your nerves. But still, the recognition on the heart is not there. Even without that, you start feeling the cool breeze, you can raise the kundalini of others, you can cure people, you can do many things. But still, it is not yet felt in the heart so much. That's why we have music, art. All these things start opening your heart. But still it is not recognition, because recognition is a mental activity of the heart. How can heart have a mental activity? So this mental activity of the heart is to be understood this way, that as soon as you see the danger, without even thinking, in a reflex way, your heart starts pumping more blood and you get palpitation. You don't have to think, there's no mental activity. Just you see, supposing a tiger standing before you, immediately the heart will start pumping. Now, how this activity takes place, one may say, is that because it is built in within you, that as soon as you see some emergency, your sympathetic nervous system goes into activity. And you start feeling the fear, you start feeling that there should be some protection, that you should do something about it. But you do not think, you just run. You run as fast as possible. You don't think about it, what I should do, where I should run, just you go on running, away from the danger. And how do you do that? Because it is built in within you, all this, in your brain, that as soon as the heart starts pumping too much blood, it should just make the legs work and the hands work and you should run. But the response to the spirituality is not yet manifested. It is manifested. It is all built, no doubt. But it is not yet manifested. And how will it manifest? That's what people ask me, Mother, how will it manifest? Through your past, you have learned that you have to be afraid of this, you have to be afraid of that. Also in this lifetime, you have learned many things. For a child may put his hand to the candle, won't be frightened. But a grown-up will, because an experience. With the experience, gradually you built in that reaction of reflex within you so that you try to save yourself. Now, what experience you should have to build that in your heart is the point. And the experience is of your own divinity, of your own spirituality. Once you start developing that experience, then you know that you are a divine person. Unless and until you are aware fully that you are a divine person, howsoever faith you may have in me, the recognition is not complete, because who is recognizing me is a blind person. If a blind person is recognizing me, it won't have that response of the heart. So first you have to recognize yourself to be a divine person, to have faith in yourself. But if you become introspective and meditative, then you touch that divinity within you. When you touch that divinity, you know you are a divine person. So in Sahasrara Puja, actually, you have to recognize your own divinity, that you are divine, by experiencing your divinity. How do you experience your divinity? That you give realization to others. It's a great experience to give realization to others. Not only that, you give realization, but you can tell about their chakras. You know what's wrong with them. You are quite confident. And mentally you know that, yes, it's working. You'll say, without getting involved into it as I do it, you'll say, Mother, it's working, it's happening, it's this thing, that. But you never introspect. How is it I am working? How I am working it out? How I can feel? What has happened to me? What has improved in me? What has sharpened in me? What is the development in me? What is the transformation? Once you start thinking about it, the experience of your own being, then a kind of a feeling towards the Mahamaya develops. Feeling, again I say feeling. Like feeling of fear, feeling of happiness, feeling of depression, any feeling you develop. And this feeling you could call a feeling of gratitude, feeling of love, feeling of oneness, feeling of joy. All this starts working in your heart. And then you feel the responses. If supposing the sea is responding to moon, that means it has that mobility in it to respond. A stone will not react to the moon. In the same way, in your heart, these waves of these feelings are created by the experience of spirituality, by the experience of your own being. And then you start expressing them. But if you mentally go on analyzing everything and mentally understanding Sahaja, you cannot reach that state of divinity from where you receive all the blessings. It starts pouring on you in every way. But this is the faith with experience, not a blind faith. Faith with experience and through introspection. Why do I do this? Why should I do like this? Why shouldn't you do like that? Is introspection should start. When you are introspecting, then this depth moves further, but more through meditation. That's why I always tell you that please get up in the morning, do your meditation, and get up in the evening and do your meditation. At least before going to bed, you should get to it. That's the only way you can go deeper into your divinity, which is the source of all creativity, source of all the innocence, is the source of all the knowledge and the source of all the joy. But just to expand your heart, to spread your love to everyone, to feel their love within your heart, and then to put yourself into a position when it responds, the heart responds to divinity within you and to your mother with full mental activity of the heart. But further to grow, you have to get to meditation where you become silent and your tree of life will grow in silence, not in a turmoil. If you understand that, please work it out in such a manner that you all become completely aware of your divinity, by which you can see. If you have to see the image, you have to have a very good mirror. In the same way, if you have to feel the Mahamaya, you have to have a complete, pure divinity manifesting in you. May God bless you.